There on YouTube.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Welcome everyone. So as Dr. Walid said, we have two paths. We have quick publish and advanced publish. And we need for the advanced publish to create an assessment plan first. So let's start with creating an assessment plan. Then we can go through the. So I will start as a course owner to create an assessment plan the same way as we did before with CBT or computer-based test. I will create an assessment plan, and this time I will select the type to be BBT. So as you can see, now we will use the BBT type. I will add a code and a label. And if I want, I can add an Arabic name or I can leave it. Can we mute the voice, please? Thanks. I can select an assessment category. Then I can set the percentage of this assessment as we did before, and then I can click Save. So now we created an assessment plan. Okay, now we can go to the bank user role. So as we did before, we have a bank. It contains some items, as you can see, the English bank. We have created already items in this bank. We can go directly now to assessments to create a test. I will go to tests or assessments. I will create a new test. This time also I will select paper-based test as my selection here, not online testing. I will set the exam's name. Then I will click next. I will select to have another section. Actually, I will make this one called MCQ. And the other one will be true and false section. Sorry, let's make it just an F. Okay. Then click next. Then we just can click save. We have our test now the same way we did before with CBT. I will add items to this test by clicking on add items. I can filter. Just select the MCQ questions. I can even, if I want to add a passage or what or not, I can drag those items here. Then I can add true and false items. I will filter them first to get only the true and false, true or false items, and I can drag them here. So now I created my test and I added my items. Okay, for the first path, the quick publish, I am done now. I'm ready to print a test paper by clicking on publish test. Sorry, I have an issue here. I will refresh my page. I will go through the test again. This was the one we created. I'll click edit. I'll click on publish test. Now we have two options, quick publish and advanced publish. I will select quick publish. Quick publish will move us to a window to put some configurations first before printing our paper or our test paper. So we can use the font we used to create our items. So now I have some items in this test, and I used a different fonts, different font sizes for each item. I can keep this, so my test paper will be printed with those fonts, or I can select a specific font size and font family. If I want, I can select this font from here. For example, this font called Roboto, and I can set a specific font size if I want. Okay, so now I can also select either if I want to add letters before the items, so the numbers goes A, B, C, D for the items. Or I can,
Ibrahim, your voice is very low. Please,
can you hear me now? Okay. Is it better now?
I think now it's much better. Thank you.
You're welcome. So now this is the numbering style, the numbering for the items or the questions in the test. If I want it to be ABC or 1, 2, 3, we will try the numbers style. Also for the options, if I want the options to be ABC or Alif B Jim for Arabic or 1, 2, 3, I will select it to be ABC. I can select the position of the page number if I want it to be in the top or bottom, or I don't want the page number in my page, but I will select it to be in the bottom. Also, if I want a border in my test page or answer questions page, I can select the style of the border. I will make it just single. Okay. Now we can add a header and a footer for our test page. I will select this one I created before in Word file. I will just copy it and paste it here. So now I have this header. I can create this one, or I can add this control, which called test form. So as you can see, it added a control here called form name. So the form name I created, which is form 1 for now, will be added in this header. So I can also manage to create a footer. For example, I will make it look like this. Okay. I can change the font to large. Okay, and let's make it in the center. I can change this picture. Let's add a new picture. Okay, and now we can click. If I click publish, first I can select if I want this file to be a Word file, so I can edit it again, or just save it as a PDF. So I will select it to be Word and click publish. So now I can download my file. I will download it here. Let's go there and download it. Let's make it 77 as a test, and we'll save it. If I open this file, okay, here is our file, the header we created. The form name is form 1 now because I was working on form 1. If this form was different than form 1, form 2 or 3, the name will be created here. So here is my section title, and then the questions. As you can see, the numbering style is 1, 2, 3 as we selected, and the options numbering style is letters ABC. So as you can see, we have the same font family and size for all items. This
but why you did it as 18? It's very big.
I know. Yeah.
Next time, make it.
Okay, let's try. Make it smaller, like 13. I'll click publish again.
Okay, let's see.
Thanks, Dr. Reed. It will be better now, I guess. Yeah, it's better now. So it applied the font size I selected for items. Now it's 13, and the font family I selected, it was Roboto. I can see now my footer in each page and the page number in the bottom as I selected. Okay, so this was the first path. I created a test, I printed it, but I don't want to upload or import the test result to the system again. What if I want this? If I want to import the student responses to the system, so I have to go to advanced publish. So how can I
So now, just 1 second. So now what? Actually, we did this. The first option for us, we just create a test and we just do the quick publish. So the test is ready. You can take it on Word. If you need to make extra, up to you. You can even create different forms by shuffling items, by just making clone here and export all these forms, of course. And as you remember, because we already have decided that, especially if you selected that the option will be shuffled, so even the new form will not only shuffle the questions, will also shuffle the options. So you can actually create multiple forms, just exported, and it's out. Okay. Now let's see what we'll do if we would like to do the second option.
So the second option is advanced publish. Advanced publish. I can click on advanced publish here. But first, as you can see, I have to complete configurations first. As we did before in CBT test, we had to set some configurations first before we publish. So I will go back to my assessments page. Here is the test I want to configure. I'll click on configurations. Now I have here some configurations. I can change the test name if I want. I can set the score here. So it will be, I can see here the forms I have in my test. I have form 2. In the section, I have the same configurations. If I'm going to let the system different options order for each student, but if I'm going to export a PDF, as we will see, export a PDF and print it, then this configuration will not make a difference. I also can add instructions the same way we did before in CBT. I can add instruction title. I can add here answer all the question and so on. I can also add instructions for each section if I want. And finally, in the printing layout, I can select even either if this test will be English in English language or Arabic language. So all the controls and the section titles and all will go to the right if it's Arabic, or I will make it left to right if it is English. Also, I can select this configuration for each question. If I want to make all the questions left to right, so the orientation or direction will be left to right, or all the question to be right to left, or I let each question will be shown as I inserted in the bank, so I can let it as it is. Now I can click save. And now we can go back to the test and do the advanced publish. So now I will select advanced publish. I will select the forms I want to publish. Maybe I want to publish only one form. I will publish both of them. I have to select the destination the same way we did before. I will select a workspace, then a term, then a course. I want to be on this course. And now I can select the assessment plan we created before, this one, then click OK. Then click next. The same way as before, we can see the configurations we chose before. I'll click next and add my password and then click finish. Now my test is published. I can go as a course owner now. So I can check the configurations and edit it if I want before scheduling the test. So as we used to, I will go to delivery. we used to do to go to CBT first, but now we are on BBT already. So I will go to my test and configure it. Here I can see I have configured, or I have published a test that has 2 sections, and I published 2 forms. I can click on configure. Now we will see a lot of configurations, more than we saw in the bank before. I can set a test code here if I want. I can change the duration of the test. I can set the percentage or the success percentage. I can see I can set or select the measurement unit. I will use it, this unit, I will use it later. When I want to add a letter spaces or a line, the spaces between lines, I can select the unit I want to use, if it will be millimeters or centimeters or inches. I can select the orientation of the page. I will print if it's portrait or landscape, and the page size, I have the standard sizes, or I can set a custom size if I want. I will let it to be A4 now. I can here see the forms I have published, form 1 and 2. I can set it to be active, and the other one I will let it to be not active. I can here add the label or the test that will appear on the paper. I can add the title. Let's make it final exam. Sorry. I can here set the line spacing, the spaces between lines if I want. And now we can see the unit we choose or we selected, centimeters. Make it 2. Okay. Also, I can select a specific, the configuration we saw before, a specific font for each questions, for all the questions we have, and font size, or I can keep it as I inserted in the bank. I can also select either if I will print the papers, the test papers from the bank, or from the system, from the system directly, or I will just save a PDF file and I will print it by myself. As Dr. Walid said, we have an option here for OMR, so we can print the answer sheet and the test sheet from the bank, from the system, and we can scan it later.
Just one point here, Engineer Ibrahim. Just for you, yeah, as I mentioned, we already have many options for paper-based exams. This time we're going only to explain 2 options. The first option is a quick publish, now advanced with normal paper. Yeah, I'm going to print it on normal paper, and you can just use any bubble sheets or even normal paper in your college. This option, which support OMR, is an extra feature we're going to explain later. Maybe Engineer Ibrahim can show you how it works. Like this. This is like this has been exported from the system. So the system is able to export this for students. So you can just print on normal printers, and you can use it and scan it on normal scanners, and the system can read this back. No need for, actually it's another technology in addition the other red technology. No need for special papers or special printers. But we are not using now, we are not explaining now, just for your information. So now we will not enable this feature.
Yeah.
Okay, engineers, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. So also I can add a header as we did before. If you remember, in the quick publish, I can add a header here. So I will just copy the same header we used before and put it here. I'll change the logo. Let's make it KQ logo. Or I can just leave this and add the form control. I also can add a footer if I want, or I can leave it empty if I want. So I can go to sections. I have some configurations here. I can select a specific font for section titles and the numbering style of the sections if I want it to be letters or Roman numbers or number words. If I want, I will let it to be numbers. I can select if I want to have a separate or a page break after each section, or if I don't want it. I can add instructions if I want for the test and for each section as we did before. And finally, in the security tab, we can select when do I want the test to be printed. So before the test with only 1 day, I can, as course owner, I can print, or the one who is responsible for printing, I can print the test. Before this 1 day, I can't see that I have a test, or I can see that I can print this test. Okay.
Just for clarification, this option is very important. If you have an assistant or someone who is actually working with you in the course, and you are only responsible about the exam, so you can release the question sheet only on a specific day. Before this, even if it's ready on the system, no one can print, even or if you have like a control department for all exams, they're responsible for printing and everything, it also helps a lot because you can give them the privilege to print it like 1 day before the exam or even 1 hour before the test. So, but of course, this is more advanced. Maybe you don't need now. Anyway, okay, thank you. Okay, yeah, you can continue.
Okay, now we are ready to create a new scheduling and assign student to this scheduling. I will go to registration the same way we did before. I can see I have here scheduling. I can add a new one or I can edit it. I will add a new one. Let's make it demo session 77. I have to select a date. I will select a time. Let's make it here. So now we have two options. We can select a specific room to add this scheduling on if I have rooms and buildings created and defined on the system, or I can just set as we did before, set the maximum number of students that will attend this test. And I will select a proctor and I can just click save and assign. Save and assign will let me to select the students I want to attend this test session. So I will select those two students and will click assign. So now I have a test session. I can go to delivery to manage it and configure it as we also did before in CBT, the same steps exactly. I will go to manage session. Now I can see my test sessions here. I will just configure this one to make it ready to be tested. So I will set it to be configured. Now I configure the session. The students will answer the questions. I will scan the papers in OMR scanners, and it will return with a file like this one, a file with the students' IDs and each answer or response for each questions. In this test, I have 42 questions. Now I can see I have all the responses here. I will have to import those responses to the system. So I have to go to scoring to import those questions after the test ends. Then I will go to PPT responses to import them. I will see here all the schedulings on PPT tests that I can import question for them. I can see that I had already 4 and they were all scored. Now I can work on this one, demo session 77. Okay. I have here 2 students. Sorry, I have to edit this file. I have only 2 students, so I will make this one this student, and we don't have to use this one. Sorry. Okay, I edited the file. Now it's ready to be imported. So I will click on browse to select the file. I will go to the file location. Then I will click import. Okay, I have some invalid data, sorry. I have to check it. Invalid test form code, sorry. So I have to, I'll try to import it again. Okay. I think I forgot, sorry, to configure this session, the session 77. I configured the first one, trial 2. I'll configure this one again, sorry. This one had to be configured, not the first one. So now I will go back to BBT and I will import the same file. I will upload it and click import. Okay, now it's imported and I can see here the responses I have or that was in the file were imported correctly and successfully. I can see here that all my data is valid. Now I can go to scoring, then scoring session to create a new scoring session for this session so that the system starts scoring all the responses automatically. So I will create a new scoring session. I will select assessment plan I want to work in. It will be this one. Okay, now I can select the scheduling I want to score. I can select multiple schedulings. If I have more than one scheduling, I can select all of them and they will all be scored at one time. I will select this one and we'll just click on save and distribute. I just need to do this step so I can create a scoring session and we'll add a rater to this scoring session. So if I have any problem in student responses, this rater will have to rescore or check the responses by himself. So I will add just a rater and a supervisor. Okay. And we'll just click distribute and finish and publish. So if I have no problems with my responses, student responses, I will just click finish this scoring session. And now I can export the reports from scoring as we are here and then click reports. The same page we exported the reports before in CBT exams. I can open test results. I can see here the two students that they were testing with me. I can click on print. And can save this file in any of those extensions. We can save it as PDF or Excel or Word. I have also another report like student responses. I can export student responses if I want with an extra column for scores. So I will click print. I will have a separate page for each student with all his or her responses and a score column for each response. So this student for question number 1, his response was the option number 1 and it was the answer key, so he got 1. So let's see another two reports like question quality. I have to select assessment plan. We have seen already those reports before, so there are no different here. We can see here statistics values for each question and for the overall of the test. Also, we can export item option analysis report, which show us the percentage of answering each option. So, for example, option number 1 in question number 1 in the test, 66% of the students answer it. answered it, and 33% answered with option number 4. And option number 1, as we can see here, the asterisk or this star icon, it's with the correct answer. So now I finished, Dr. Eid, if you want to add something.
Yeah, just to, I know that you will have a lot of questions actually regarding the scoring session. We're actually going to explain with more details on next session, inshallah, next week, on Sunday and Monday, because it also will handle if you have open-ended questions. So if you have the scanning of open-ended questions, or even the scores. So we're going to do it again. And also, if for some reason if the scanner while scanning gets some what we call miscoded answers, like students select 2 answers, for example, so you can take decision how you're going to score these students. I think now we has covered the 2 passes, the quick publish and the advanced publish. I know the steps. Of course, it went quickly. So what we're going to do inshallah, we are going to upload on the same folder videos with the steps and one document with the steps and screenshots that can help you go through this, inshallah. In addition, inshallah, also, as I mentioned, that we need your help, that you decide what you are going to do, which courses, and communicate this to our engineers and even the coordinator for each college. So we're going to support you next week. Our engineers actually are ready to visit your college, work with you, help you even have a demo test or go through each step by step till you finish the test. And if you find any issues, we have 2 levels actually of support. The first level, the on-site engineer, resident engineers in the college, and we have second line of support, which actually more experienced if you have bigger issues, inshallah. I hope we have like 10 minutes. If you have questions, we are ready to answer you. So please, Engineer Abdurrab, please put the link for the videos and even the attendance link as well.
Okay, Dr. Walid.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam, Dr. Ayub.
Dr. Ayub, can you show me the shuffling again? How you did the shuffling of questions while printing?
Shuffling of questions while printing. You mean that
in our paper exams we have we have 4 modules of the same exam, and before we make the modules, we actually shuffle the questions.
Okay. So.
As we saw here, we had Form 1 and Form 2. Form 1, we created it and we added all the questions manually. I can just click on clone.
Yes.
It will create a new form with all the items I have.
Yeah, just stop here. Allow shuffle items. What does that shuffle? Only the questions or all the choices as well?
All the questions, and if I selected in the questions options that I will shuffle the options also will be shuffled.
Okay, like the electronic. So the shuffling of the choices has to be with the question, not here.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you.
Okay,
I have another question about the scanner. We have some scanners and we have our own answer sheets. And I've got some files that I can show you the data that is produced by the file, how that file can be imported in here so that we can get the analysis. Okay. From that file, I think you want only the question, the student name or the student ID and the response for each question, right? Because most of our exams are multiple choice. Yes, like this.
Exactly.
You are using Scantron, Dr. Ayub? Scantron scanners?
No. We have Apperson data link 1200. It produces a file that gives you everything, the analysis and all these things. So it would be good to compare the analysis from the scanner and the analysis that will come from Assessment Gourmet.
Yeah. So you can just import. I think all
You want
scanners
to-
usually, yeah,
So
the
what
same.
should you import from the file? You want only this, like this,
Yeah.
what you are showing now, a student ID and the response for each question.
Yes.
What are these 1, 2, 3, 4? Because all we have is right or wrong. 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. Or A, B, C, D actually. A, B, C, D, because our options are A, B, C, D.
Okay, you just need to here to recode to 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of ABCD.
So
I
it
think
has to be,
the scanner,
it has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, or it can remain A, B, C, D.
Engineer Ibrahim, I cannot remember this. Do we
I
have
think
this
it's
option now?
easily done, because wherever there is A, we can select all and convert A to 1.
If you remember, in the configurations of BBT, we can select the numbering style of the options. I selected
Yes.
for this
Yes.
test, for this
Yes.
test, I selected 1, 2, 3 for the numbering options. If I
So
want
if
to,
it was A, B, C, D, then it will come as A, B, C, D here.
of course, yeah.
All right. And you showed when you were selecting the bubble sheet, you could print it. So what about if we give you our template? That template can be made into a printable sheet?
Yes, of course. As we saw, we can select the header and the footer, and we can design the full answer sheet if you want. But as Dr. Reed said, it will be later.
All right, but when you print, I think our scanner will not scan it, because that scanner has a special answer sheet.
Your scanner, does it work with image scanner or just OMR scanner?
It's a OMR.
If it's only OMR, no, yeah, it will not work. You need
It will
still
have
to
to be
use
our own answer sheets. Yes.
Yeah, it's its own application.
But
if
we
you
have a
just
new
use
scanner. We have a new scanner as well, a Scantron Iconic or something like that. Iconic 3500.
I
And
think
that
this
is,
has a feature.
yeah, they have ability to print bubble sheets.
If it's able, yeah, if it's the images, it's called image clip. Enabled on this scanner, you can just import the images of your of the answer sheet, so it can work normally.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
You can use any normal scanner, any normal scanner with feeder.
Yeah.
Oh yes, so there are some normal scanners with us as well. HP.
Whatever, any type, normal scanner, just with feeder to make it easy for you. Just no need to feed one by one, so you can just put all of them and import the images.
Okay, I'll give a chance. I'll give a chance to somebody else to ask questions. But I have one
yes,
more.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Allah yadikum al-afiyah. I have two key points. One related to, could I use this assignment system for postgraduate students to evaluate their MA? And I know this system for BA and BC and BM and the like in our university. What about the postgraduate students? Do you have any attentive plan for doing so? Or in the system has already evaluating for these postgraduate students? My second point, are you giving us about the certificate, attendance certificate? Are you going to offering us one certificate contain all the workshop, or individual certificate with various type of spectra of workshop? Thank you.
Okay, let me start with the second one. What we can say. Okay, who is going to issue the certificate is Center of Measurement of the university, and as has been communicated to us, it will be one certificate. Mostly that it will include all the sessions that has been attended. For the first option, question, I'm not sure that I understood the question, but applying this system actually to postgraduate or even undergraduate programs, it's up to you. Yani, I think now it's like internal planning for the university and even the department and the college to decide how gradually. Yani, let's agree on a principle. It takes time. Such systems actually they are huge. You cannot just implement with a few weeks. It takes some time, 2 years or maybe more. You need to have an internal staff as a TUT, and even make sure everyone is train all the students, and gradually start to utilize this for all programs and all levels. The same what happened, I think already you explained to me that Blackboard actually has been years before it has been utilized, and even some has been started using Blackboard after COVID-19. So the same, big systems will not work like this. It takes time, and working slowly, gradually. This is how it works well. And we believe also that each college, each place has its needs. So we are ready, and we are working with you that we can also add some features, make some customization for King Khalid University to make sure that it meets all your needs.
Also, Doctor, thank you for this clarification. But there is actually, it is easy for this actual system, according to my viewpoint, that for students that will take their MA or PhD through courses, it's easy to evaluate their work. But I think that it is difficult for those students who is going to submit their BMA or the PhD through the system. But it is easier for those students who take the MA through courses.
Right, I agree. It's easy because it's just courses, and mostly they are not huge numbers, and they are graduated, so they can easily learn. And I agree with you. I think this is a good idea.
Yeah,
you can. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. You're welcome. We can take another question. One question, please, if you are ready to give one.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah,
mashallah, as we are getting with the sessions, we are familiar with the system. Okay, thanks for your good presentation and explanation. A question is there that suppose we are having 2-3 sets, okay? So we have to scan both all the sets separately, or we can merge into one file.
Okay, Engineer Ibrahim is more experienced with this point. Okay, Engineer Ibrahim, have you heard the question?
No, can I hear it again? Sorry. Some noise.
Okay. Doctor asked actually if they already have different sets of question forms. Yeah, I mean different forms. Should they scan each form separately, or they can just scan in the same time, and the system can differentiate the form?
Of course, all the forms.
Okay.
All the forms, and the system will know each form.
So the system can scan all the forms together and just import it once, and the system would be able to identify. So how can the system identify? Can you just show?
Of course, I will go into. I will go to course
because this is a very important point actually.
As you can, first I will show you the file that I imported. It has no info for the form, but I can add this info.
It's not clear, dear.
Yeah, your voice, Engineer Ibrahim. Sorry, can you just raise your voice?
Now, can you hear it?
Yes, this is much better. Thank you.
You are welcome.
So what Engineer Ibrahim now is just explained to make everyone is on the same page. He's going to explain. Now, if I have more than one form or module for the students, so how can the system identify which one? Should we scan each form separately, or we can just scan all of them and make an identifier for the test code or the form code? So he's going to explain this, how it's handled.
Exactly. So as we saw here, this page where we imported our file that was exported from a OMR scanner. I was selecting that I will have the first cell A for student ID. The second cell will be B, and it's the first item, and the last one will be AQ because I have, as I told you, I have 42 questions. Those are last one will be AQ, and it will have the last question. What if I want to add the test form cell? So I will add it to be, for example, B. I will start my question from C. So I can now change the file I will import to have this column for forms. I will insert here. So form. I will just add the form ID here, F1 and F2. So if this student was tested in form 1 and the second student tested on form 2, I will import just one file to the system, and system will know that these responses are for form 1 and those responses for form 2.
Just one thing we have to confirm: the coding of the forms, you have to decide about it. So what Dr. Engineer had now is F1, F2. You have to define this in the configuration. Okay,
Yeah.
this is very important. So if you are using OMR scanner and it only allows like 1 digit or 2 digit, so you make sure that the code is already used for the scanner is the same defined on the form.
Exactly.
So when you import the item, the forms, the system will identify that 1 is 1, 2 is 2, and so on. Okay. This can be done actually 2 ways. One way, which is the easiest, to define the code in our system. Other one, it's to configure it on the scanner, the setup of the scanner. I think in our system, it's much easier because it's just you insert the code. Okay. I hope this answers the question.
Okay, thank you very much. Jazakallah.
Okay, I think we are now done. Okay, I think now we are done. Thank you for all your questions, and I know